Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So, greetings to everyone wherever you are all over the world. I'm Lawrence, and this is LT Racing Journey, and today we're going to be playing a bit of Forza Motorsport. This is the very first video on this channel, so I'm thrilled if you're here watching this for this first video. What I want to do is give you a quick overview of what I'm trying to do, what the channel's all about, what my current setup is, and what my end goals are and what I want to achieve from the channel. But essentially, over everything else, I just want to have fun, make some videos, and play some games. So I'm not a complete beginner on car racing sims, although I've never actually raced online per se. So this is going to be a bit of an epic journey documenting the ups and downs of racing Forza Motorsport online. For Forza Motorsport, I've actually only completed one online racing race, and this is the second of the 3 required races in the qualifier series, and you need to do the qualifier series before they let you loose on any of the lobbies. So yeah, the gameplay that you're seeing at the minute is just me dropping into a bit of practice in the Honda Civic, and it's pretty much of a standard setup. It's the car that everyone gets essentially to do this qualifying series, but more importantly, I haven't actually done any setups for it at all, so it is just the bog standard load up Forza, go into your online and click race. And realistically, I have no idea what I'm doing with the setup, so if anyone's got any tips and pointers on the setups, by all means drop me a comment and let me know how you go about setting up your cars to make yourself as competitive as possible in these online lobbies in Forza. So my current setup is basic, to say the least. I have a trusty Xbox controller and that's it. So I'll be challenging myself to get into Forza online with the controller, which I'm sure is perfectly doable, but essentially what I want to do is move forward from an Xbox controller onwards and upwards, and work my way up to building a sim essentially in my basement. So it's a bit of a challenge for me, because usually I get an idea in my head and an idea for a new hobby per se, and then I want to go do it. So I buy all the gear for the new hobby and then either don't stick with it or do it sporadically on and off. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. It's going to be a bit of a journey, but I'm definitely an all the gear no idea kind of guy. So my plans for this channel then, essentially, as I mentioned before, I want to build a sim rig in the basement, and everyone has to start somewhere. So that's why I thought I'd challenge myself. I won't go and buy anything, I will just use what I've got. So I've got my Xbox controller and we'll go with that. And then potentially upgrade options. I look at potentially the Xbox Elite controller with the flappy pedals on the back, maybe for manual changing, and then either do that or just skip it completely and go to like the Logitech G920 or the G923, and then work my way up to proper sort of sim direct drive base with the Motor Racing, the R3 that's just coming out or has just been released, or the R5 maybe, and then the Fanatec direct drive. So I'm in 2 minds whether to go Fanatec or Moser at the minute, but they look like the best options for beginners. But yeah, then after that it will be upgrades, so just getting better kit, the sim rig, the base frame, the monitor stands. Realistically probably going to need a new PC as well to run the other games that I want to play. So I want to get into sort of Assetto Corsa and iRacing and work my way up to some serious races. So a bit about me, sort of my racing, so to speak, is I actually live about an hour away from the Nürburgring. And I was down there a couple of weeks ago for the 24-hour race, and that pretty much spurred my interest again in getting into racing a little bit more seriously. Now I'm 37, so I'm a little bit too old to get myself in a car and actually do anything practical in real life, but the sim looks like the next best thing, so I'll give that a go. but going way back when is I started playing Gran Turismo on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, the original Gran Turismo. So now I'm showing my age a bit more. And then console-wise, I went to PlayStation 2, played like Colin McRae Rally and all the Gran Turismos up to that point, and the Formula 1 games as well. And then I actually jumped from the PlayStation 2 to the Xbox. Got the Xbox 360 and then stuck with the Xbox ever since. But today I am playing Forza on the PC. So now what I've done is I've jumped into qualifying, as I realise there's only a couple of minutes left of the session, and to see if I can put a lap in. There's not many players, so we've only got 8 players in the lobby. I think most people have pretty much passed this section of doing the qualifiers already, and this game's been out for a few years now, so there's not that many people that are new to online racing, so to speak. But it's a pretty simple track. A few braking zones, nothing too heavy though. You can hold your speed going through that final corner onto the straight. So setting a 58.8, I was pretty happy with that. Puts me in second. But like I say, I'm not the newest to car racing games, but I'm not well versed with the online racing so far. So I don't really know what to expect, what kind of talent I'm going to see in here, how messy it's going to be, whether people are just going to be shamelessly ramming people off the track and onto the grass into the barriers, etc. But I was pretty happy that there's 8 players, and I'd put it on the podium, so to speak, for qualifying. So I was pretty happy with that. And then it's just trying to figure out these braking and essentially learning how to drive again. It's been a little bit of time since I've played one of these games, so yeah. But like I say, it's pretty straightforward forward track. There's plenty of fast corners and a couple of braking points around the back end of the track. That's a bit of a bad one, that one. Just watch a bit of this qualifying now. It's just this was the final lap, so I was pushing a little bit, and I was a bit unsure what would happen when the timer ran, if I'd get to finish the lap or if it had just cut out. But yeah, I was pushing pretty hard to try and beat that time, to be honest. Alright, so Grand Oak Circuit, the short circuit. I was pretty happy in second place out of the 8 cars. As you can see, everyone's got the same car, and it's just deciding which setup to go with, so which tyres to take, how much fuel to put on, etc. It's a pretty short one, so it's only a 8-lap race. Sorry, not 3-lap race. That's qualifying. So yeah, 8-lap race, pretty short. Put enough fuel in to do an extra one. And what got me worried was this guy with his Taco Bell livery, which suggests that he might have done a bit of tuning, maybe got a better tune on the car than I'm currently running with the just bog standard setup. So that was a little bit of a worry. And clearly he's on pole, so this guy knows what he's doing. Okay, so here we go. Race number 2 of the qualifying series, but my first race in a little while. It's been pretty long time since I did the first one, to be honest. And yeah, I was pretty hyped about this. I was pretty excited, and we got a pretty good start off the front. Managed to keep it in second, but more importantly, going into his first corner, he clearly took a way better line than the guy in first, and managed to get up his inside and take first position. And then it was just going to be a matter of just seeing how long I can keep him behind, if I can keep him behind for the whole race. But as I mentioned before, he's looking pretty quick, and yeah, all over the back end. Missing the braking point there. But if I could hold it together for the first lap, I thought I could settle into it and keep going for the next 7 and manage to pull off the first race victory. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Getting the run down to this final corner is I think for me was absolutely crucial. If you don't hit this right, you lose so much speed going down the start-finish straight. And as you can see, the guy behind got a better run than I did, and that sees him back into front again. Oh, this guy trying to have a bit of a cheeky dive, but that was from a bit far back. I think that would have been a bit optimistic. But he's all over the back. But crucially, from 4th place, we are eking out a pretty decent lead. So that just goes to show that, like, even as a beginner, it's not terrible. Like, nobody's getting punted off. It's pretty clean racing, giving each other space and whatnot. So even this very first beginner series is not too bad. I've heard some pretty good horror stories, and I watched for the likes of like Super GT and a couple of other different races that have raced on Forza, and seen some of their videos with people getting punted off and it just being absolute carnage. But yeah, this guy, he's not really nailed that first corner, but there's just no space. Maybe I was being a little bit tame and I could afford to be a little bit more aggressive, but yeah, I was giving him plenty of space. I was conscious of the fact that I want to do this as fair and as tidy as I can. So my plan is to eventually start building up the difficulty, so ramping up the difficulty, turning off the traction control, ABS, etc., racing from inside the cockpit, turning off these braking guides, and slowly ramp it up to build up. So my aim is to like I say, to have the sim rig and be on iRacing and doing some tasty actual simulator some races. But like I say, this is just a basic start. This is just proof that anybody can get into the sport, and at the moment it is absolutely blowing up. It seems to be all over the place at the minute. I guess that's down to the digital world that we live in. But this guy is having a cheeky look up the inside, and he actually goes through here, I believe. And then yeah, just can't hold it. Can't hold the inside line. He gets side by side, crucially having the inside line for the next corner. And that's him in front, and then it's pretty much the second half of the race is just seeing if we can get that position back. It's a pretty good battle actually. It's they don't get away, which I was quite happy about. Give me a bit of a boost of confidence that they don't just shoot off down the road. And I managed to keep pace. There's a couple of corners that I think I've got down pretty good. But yeah, I think getting into those braking zones in the back, I probably brake a touch too hard or a bit too long, maybe a bit too late and too hard. Don't get that rotation on the car. This one I found a bit tricky. Just getting it, especially following someone around. I mean, like if I was playing single player, probably be all over the back of him and have no qualms about being a bit more aggressive. But I'm actually trying to be really conscious about like my racing style, making the passes fairly, not being too aggressive and getting side by side and trading paint, etc. I just want to be as fair as I can and as clean as I can. Guy behind's got a penalty, but he's 8.5 seconds behind anyway, so there's no worries about anyone behind. Let's just see if we can catch this guy in second place and see if we can get further up on the podium. But it's looking like a solid podium finish for the second qualifier race in the series, so I was quite happy about that. My plan for the videos, by the way, is I want to get a video out every week, but I don't know if that's optimistic, but I want to try and get one out every Friday, at worst every Saturday. I've got a full-time job, so it's pretty tricky to work around that. So yeah, I'm pretty busy throughout the day, so this is going to be a bit of an evenings thing. But I've also got a wedding coming up in July, so we're planning a wedding. So yeah, I am absolutely maxed out at the minute, and then I've had this crazy wacky idea to start recording my games on YouTube and do a bit of video editing, learn some new skills. I come from a bit of an IT background, so I did IT at university and had a number of jobs through different IT companies. So I mean, it's up there. I love tinkering around with technology, AI, smart technology, games, tinkering, Raspberry Pis, playing about with PCs, building PCs, etc. It's always been quite interesting. But even as a kid, I was a bugger for taking things apart and putting them back together again. But as you can see, we've all gathered up again, so there's definitely an opportunity to pinch second or even first. You never know if we force the guy in first into a bit of an unforced error, but I take this corner way too wide, and it just puts me on the back foot. I have a bit of a bad run down to the last corner, and then coming into that last corner, if you've got a bad run from the penultimate corner, coming into the last corner just puts you on the back foot and you lose a bit of momentum. As you can see from the splits, so a second down on that lap, just due to that corner at the top and getting the bad run, I think. But this is the last lap, so let's see what we can do and see if we can get past him. But essentially, like the back end of the qualifying, I just pushed a bit too hard, and that essentially rules me out of a second or a first place position on such a short lap. As we come around, it's coming to the end of the race, so I'm more than happy to take your comments. Give me some pointers, any suggestions. How did you get started in sim racing? What kit did you buy? Did you go straight from nothing into a full rig, or did you have some crazy wacky setup where you were sat on the toilet with the steering wheel on a metal frame in front of you? Yeah, so give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I will take you along on the journey with me through my Forza Motorsport, so to speak. So I was quite happy with that. Third place, 58-second lap. Actually got the fastest lap out of everyone, so that was another bit of a confidence boost as well. So I was really happy with that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, drop me a comment, drop a like, and subscribe to keep on following the journey and see where we go and which kit we go, and if you need any advice on what kit to buy or how to get started on your sim racing journey. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.
Well done. We finished P3.
Alright guys, I will leave you with the cinematic replay of the race, so enjoy, stick around to watch the replay, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye bye.